Assalamualaikum guys. Assalamualaikum Imam.
Abdullah.
A race or Bilal, we launched YouTube already?
Yep, just started now.
Okay, Jazakallah. So Shaykh, you can start whenever you're ready.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear respected brothers and sisters, welcome to another Friday reminder. Inshallah, in the next 15-20 minutes, I want to talk about, I think it is a really important topic in the age of social media and what is happening online on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and how the Muslim or large section of the Muslim community, in particular the youth, young people, how they are portraying themselves and how they are navigating social media. And there have been many studies done on the side to mention, there are many studies have been done which talk about the negative impact on the psyche, on our mental health of social media. Social media, like any other platform or TV or any other kind of system or platform that is out there, can be used in a positive manner. Alhamdulillah, through WhatsApp and through Facebook, through Telegram, through Twitter, we reach people that we've in the past would have probably taken weeks and months to travel. Yeah, even before the internet, writing letters would take a few days to reach, and it was not instant. Now, you can communicate with someone from while you are in London, someone in Tokyo, someone in Canada, right? Different time zones, different days, and you can have a conversation, discussion with them. So this is a blessing. This is a good thing. This is a positive thing. But as with anything, as human beings, we can use a platform that Allah has given us in a negative way. And unfortunately, many people, Muslims, are using social media platforms in a negative way. And it's mindful of us. As young people, we need to be reminded of that from the Islamic perspective. And secondly, if we're adults, if we're parents, we have teenagers, we have to be mindful of how we teach and educate, provide that framework, that guidance to our children, how they should navigate, because it's very difficult for you to say, cease using social media. Yeah, it can be positive, as I said, but if you educate them and if you remind them and give them a good framework, then hopefully they will be able to navigate and differentiate between the good and the bad. This is a huge topic, but I want to focus on one area, one aspect. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that all of my ummah, mu'afa, will be forgiven. Yeah, as human beings, we are prone to making mistakes. This is, you can say, inherent within us, built within us, that we are prone to making mistakes. But the best are those who seek God's forgiveness. The best are those who repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are numerous texts, numerous hadith regarding this. This particular hadith, that all of my ummah, all of the Muslim, all of people will be forgiven, except those who publicize their sins, who say, I have done this and that. Yeah, who publicize, and some people even feel, if I want to use that word if it's appropriate, in a boastful manner. Yeah, some people boast about the sin. Some people deem their sins or their mistakes as a symbol of their acceptance as a human being in this world, right? And they boast about it, they publicize about it. And as Muslims, we have to be very, very careful. What Islam says about this, it's categorical. Scholars have discussed this in many different chapters relating to fiqh, to marriage, to dealing with other people, right? if someone has made a mistake, someone has committed a sin, right, has repented, right, that sin is between that person and God, right? And if God has hidden it from the public, if God, in fact, some reports suggest that in some of the previous nations, when the people would sin, people could see on the forehead, right? When they go out, people can see that person has sinned, right? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has protected us from this. So if a person has committed a sin or a mistake, a transgression against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the privacy of the home, obviously they should avoid it. But if they repented and if Allah has hidden that sin, then it is haram for that person. It's prohibited for that person to go and publicize it on social media or LinkedIn or whatever platform that is out there. What unfortunately a lot of people are doing now, and the culture and the society that we live in, is the good has become bad, yeah, and the bad has become good, yeah. The good, doing good, has become unfashionable, right? If you're a good human being, if you're good to others, if you don't lie, if you don't cheat, that's a sign of weakness. But if you're wicked and if you're evil and if you're conniving and lying and cheating, and that's become good these days. In order for someone to succeed in life, they have to uh, um, exhibit those qualities and characteristics, unfortunately, right? And what a lot of people are doing now, and the recent controversy regarding the hijab issue, that some sisters are taking off the hijab, right? Hijab, by unanimous of the Muslim scholars, is obligatory upon the women. There's no ifs and buts about it. Yeah, it's clear cut categorical in Islam. Now, there are some people who go on YouTube and other social media platforms, and in particular parents, we have to understand these issues and how they come about. And if you have daughters, we have to be very mindful and educate them. And so they go on social media and they teach, they make videos on teaching other people how to put the hijabs on. Personally, I don't know why, because it's very, very simple, right? Even as a man saying, right? But the impetus behind it is money, is making money. So those people who do that, they build up a audience. They build up a large audience. They're called the influencers, and the point behind it, they want to influence people. They want to influence. So they want to become role models for people, right? They want to influence you in the way they think, the way they dress, the way their worldview, right? So if those people are, transgressing against God, if they are going against the clear principle of Islam, then invariably young people who are impressionable, they will be influenced by this. They'll be influenced by this, and the whole game that some of these people are playing, both brothers and sisters, is all about essentially making money. And they prey on good-hearted Muslim young impressionable people for their own personal goals and agenda. So number one, we have to be very, very careful about those people, right? Uh, you know, yeah, I'm not attacking them. I'm not dismissing them as human beings. We have to respect them. We have to show empathy and whatnot. We're not judging their hearts and whatnot, but we're judging what their actions are. Yeah. So that's one example. It's all about making money. It's all about influencing people to certain wavelength and mindset, and the whole kind of language that is used is very, I would say, un-Islamic, right? If you believe in God, if someone believes in God, then that, yes, the person will have, shortcomings. We all have shortcomings. We all make mistakes, yeah. But I should not change what God's law due to my own mistakes and shortcomings, right? Someone may, I don't know, drink as an example, yeah. He's a Muslim, but he or she has got a weakness, or gamble or whatever, got a weakness. As long as that person acknowledges that, it's my own weakness and I want to do better and whatnot. I don't want to publicize it and influence other people. That's acceptable. Meaning that that person will not be shunned. Yeah. If a person goes in and this is halal in Islam, yeah, that view is completely shunned. That view is aberration against God's law. So Yeah, there are nuances, there are complexities, right? So, there's language used, don't judge me. Yeah. Well, you're putting yourself out there. Everyone, we all judge each other. There's no community, society of people who don't judge. We all judge. Yeah. You know, yes, when it comes to certain situations, we don't judge people, right? In the sense that put them down or anything like that. But we all judge in one respect. Yeah, the way we dress, the way we talk, the way, if you go to a job interview without dressing properly, without articulating yourself clearly, right? Because a job interview is a judgment people are making. When we step outside a house, people are making judgment about us. So God understands that. God said, "This is a framework. This is a skeleton that you should follow because I know best. God knows. Uh, God knows best. So God is the one who judges, not us. Right? God is the one who judges. So we look at the Quran and the Hadith and the teaching of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So going on social media, criticizing your sin is completely prohibited. Right? There are people who are, subhanallah, someone yesterday, disgusting. Someone posted a picture of them changing their baby's diapers, and you can see the feces, and I have, billah, what are you insane? I'm thinking to myself, are you completely insane? Why would you want to put that on Facebook? And the caption was, "Oh, this is what parents go through." Okay, but why would you put that on Facebook? This is and what psychologically and mentally does, it creates narcissistic tendencies. Some people who don't have real true relationships, tangible physical relationship with others, and they have, they're able to communicate properly. They go online, they become, they have large followers. It's psychologically very, very problematic. People posting, I have done, the laundry, like literally, not literally laundry. They wash their clothes and take a picture and I wash my. What? I mean, do you live a sad life, like such a sad life, that you want to do this, right? And this shows us that people have a void, the psychological, spiritual void within their hearts, yeah, and that they're not being met in other ways. So it's a deep. These issues are, deeper. So in terms of the etiquettes of social media interaction, number one, right? Number one, we don't publicize our mistakes and sins. If God has forgiven us, if God has concealed our sins, we stop at that, right? Number two, I we don't publish post things which are contrary to the teachings of Islam. Yeah, we don't post articles and videos and which are clearly contrary to the teachings of Islam, because you'll be influencing others who are on your social media feed, and people who are around you, they will also be influenced. Yes, there are nuances that it's not clear cut, but the general principles I am mentioning. Number three, you know, in WhatsApp discussions, in Facebook discussions, and things can be misunderstood. So we have to empathize with people. We have to give them opportunity to respond and ask for clarity. A lot of people, what they do now, they jump. Now this scholar is writing. I said something on our YouTube, 2 minutes clip, and he wrote an article, a nuanced position article, and some people misunderstood or was not clear to them. They go and make a 5-10 minute video, or it becomes viral because this he's attacking a famous scholar, famous speaker, and it becomes viral and becomes a overnight sensation. And it's like, subhanallah, this is narcissistic behavior, right? And as I said, if it's a void that people have within the heart. So, ask for clarification. Something is not clear. Something is misunderstood, right? And if we don't know something, we don't. That's number four. If you don't know something, we don't go on Facebook and become muftis and scholars and give verdicts, opinions. Even if if you're not qualified, if you have not studied, your responsibility is not to give verdicts or give opinions, right? I've mentioned this example. I'm not a doctor, but I've read a lot of things on medicine, yeah, right? but it doesn't mean I'm going to go on social media and give my opinion on a medical issue, even though that opinion may be correct. Right? It doesn't mean I'm giving it, because what I am, I'll be influencing people, and that's not medicine is not my field. Law is not like law in the sense of secular law is not my field, right? So similarly, when it comes to Islam, social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter has given people platforms like to a lot of people who are online giving Islamic talks. It appears to people who have not studied that they have studied, right? They quote hadith and verses, but when you go into it and look at the credentials and look at what they're saying, they have not studied. But social media and Wikipedia and Mufti Google has given them access to information, and they're able to package it nicely and present it. And because it's all about presentation, it's not about the social media. It's all about the presentation, how good you look, how the sound is, how the camera light is, and whatnot. It's not about necessarily about the substance, right? Number 5, use social media it doesn't mean we stop using social media, but use it wisely. Use it for da'wah, use it for teaching, use it to connect with people. There are a lot of things that I probably may have missed if I wasn't on Liberation WhatsApp group, people sharing articles and books and links, and you can use it in a positive way, right? But you have to check yourself, right? If you're constantly on social media, and your Islam is taken from, right? Your Islam is taken from social media, then the Facebook has become your sheikh. Google has become your sheikh, and that's a wrong way to approach it. Yeah, knowledge, information can be taken from online, but knowledge, which is information as well as how to implement that, is taken from teacher to teacher, from a imam, scholar, mufti, a teacher, right, who studied with their teachers, and that chain is unbroken back to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And you can see the difference between those who have studied under the feet of, there are exceptions obviously, but generally those who have studied under the feet of the scholars, right, who who slept on hard concrete floors, who burned their midnight candle, right, scratching their head and not eating, right, for 5 years, for 10 years, and continue to do so. From those who perhaps attended a course here or there, and they're good at packaging things and writing information from here and there, and packaging on a YouTube channel, YouTube video. You can, people who studied see the difference. So knowledge, yes, you can take information, you can benefit from social media and whatnot, but true knowledge is taken from person to person. And I end with the famous hadith. We all know this hadith. The second hadith in the collection of Imam al-Nawawi, the 42 hadith or 40 hadith, the famous collection, right? بينما نحن جلوس عند رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ذات يوم, that one day we were sitting, Umar al-Khattab narrates this hadith. One day we were sitting with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A man appeared, لا يرى عليه أثر السفر, right? A man appeared and no traces of travel is on him. And it's a long hadith, and he sat down. فأسند ركبتيه إلى ركبتيه. He sat down next to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he began to ask the Prophet questions, showing that the talaqqi, that taking knowledge is physically from people to people, right? Or like obviously now you can still do online, but it's from person to person, right? You can read a book and read an article, even up until now. Alhamdulillah, I consider myself still a student, but I read books and books, right? I think I understand, but I still go to my teachers. I still ask, other, my colleagues, my friends, what do you think of what does that mean? You still need people to explain, to have this discussion. There's a lot of people who only take from, and primarily they take from articles on social media and books. You can see clearly that their knowledge is not comprehensive. Their knowledge is not holistic. So it's really, really important. Alhamdulillah, you brothers and sisters are attending these courses these reminders and other classes and whatnot that you take from qualified people, people who have studied, right? And yes, you read books, but along with that, you take classes and reminders from people who have studied. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless everyone for listening. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to, inshallah, practice what we preach. I don't want to take more of your time. So if you have any comments or questions, we'll open up here for comments and questions.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh. Sorry, sort of in between a couple of things whilst following the reminder. I'm not sure if you covered it in the reminder itself, but how active do you think we should be on social media? And actually, to reverse what you were saying, is it incumbent on us to be positive on social media?
I think, look, how active, it depends on you. It depends on the individual about the time and what the person does, right? But I think, as I said, I think it can be very positive if you utilize it in a good way. Yeah. So I think I think as Muslims we should be active. We should be utilizing the platforms, but that should not be at the expense of physical connection. Yeah. Connection on the ground. Yeah. There should be a balance. So yes, be on social media. Post good beneficial stuff for yourself. Engage with people. Communicate with people. Make new friends. And these are all positive, but not at the expense of hiding away from reality, from what's happening on the ground. Yeah. There's a question here. Can we read from Mus'haf if Sunnah and Fard, especially Fajr is evidence? So there's different opinion among the scholars regarding holding the Mus'haf when our Quran apps and praying. Some scholars say it's allowed from both Fard and Sunnah. Other scholars say you should only do it in Sunnah and Nafila and not on Fard. I think it's allowed if you do it in Sunnah and Nafila, Tahajjud, Taraweeh, for example. Fard, if there's no emotion, right? And because what the scholars of the past, what the Quran was so big, and if they hold it on their hand, they have to move their hands, and there'll be a lot of emotions. Now we don't really need to do that because on the Quran app, you don't have to move your hands too much. So that's the reasoning behind it. But even the Fard, I would say it's best to avoid it, right? But in Nafila, Sunnah is valid. It's okay, inshallah. Sometimes even Taraweeh, Nafila, I do that myself, just to revise some of my Quran. Yeah, on my own, revise some of my Quran. I do that. So it's perfectly fine, inshallah. But yeah, I think it should be avoided. I wouldn't go as far as say your salah will be invalid, although some scholars say that, some madhab say that, but I think it's best to avoid it. Allah.
Sheikh, just while we're waiting for any more questions to come through, just a couple of reminders. One, that there is the Surah Yusuf Tafsir group on Sunday. And for your any questions session, scheduled for Saturday, July 11th at 8 p.m, where we'll be discussing the topic reopening of the masjid, inshallah.
There are no maybe question. We can finish with the dua, Brother Amir.
Inshallah, yeah, I think we can close up now.
Jazakallah khair for attending. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, and hopefully the short reminder was beneficial. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to practice and preach. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our families, ourselves from the coronavirus pandemic. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to go back to our masajid and pray Jum'ah together and all the other salawat and all the other activities as soon as it is safe for us to do so, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable our experts, our medical experts, to find a vaccine for this coronavirus pandemic. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase in our good deeds. May Allah increase in our good activities. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase in our knowledge. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all our dead. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cure the sick of the Muslims and also all people around the world. Subhanaka rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamu ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Until next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. Until next week. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and Jummah Mubarak.